Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture on false friends and translation shifts. Today we will be looking into both of these topics under your translation, and these two topics are not exactly related with one another, but they can be understood as in relation with each other. Okay, first of all, we are going to look at what false friends are. Now, by the name itself, you can judge that they look like they are friends, but they are not. Okay, now what do we mean by this? Now, false friends in the context of linguistics and translation, basically they are nothing but pairs of words. Okay, there are two words that are present. Now these two words, they look like they belong to one parent language. Okay, they look like they have come from one parent language, and this is not always true. They are actually coming from two different languages. Okay, and they have different meanings also. So words which are coming from two different languages, or which belong to two different languages, and there are different meanings. Okay, so let's quickly let's say there are two words X and Y. Okay, now X belongs to, let's say, language A, and Y belongs to language B. Okay, A and B are different languages, and the meanings of X in A and Y in B is also quite different. Now X and Y, they look like they are similar. In what sense? In the sense that they have similar phonology. Okay, they sound the same, they look the same, which means they have the same form. So what happens is that a person might get confused that maybe these two words have the same etymology. Maybe they have descended from one common parent, or proto language as you call it in the context of historical linguistics. Okay, now A and B might not be related to this proto language, or they might be related to this proto language. Okay, so in the cases that they have actually descended from proto language, then also they may be false friends. If they have not descended from one proto language, then also they are false friends. So whether or not they have come from the same language, X and Y, whether they have come from the same language, is not the deciding factor as to what false friends will be. False friends are any two words that sound the same, they look the same, but the meaning is different, and they belong to the vocabulary of two different languages. This means that some false friends, they have actually descended down from the same proto language, and that is why they are very similar to each other. So the reason for this similarity is actually the common etymology, common origin. Okay, and the word that historical linguistics has given for this particular concept is called cognates. Words of common etymology, or words that have come down from the same parent. So proto language is very important over here in the context of false friends and cognates. So cognates is actually one type of false friends. Okay, now why are they called false friends? They have descended from the same family, but still they are called false friends. It is because of the fact that due to their same etymology and similar phonology, people get confused that they mean the same, but actually the meanings are different. Okay, the meanings are different. Different in what sense? Different because the languages, they have been separated from their parents for, let's say, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, and they have undergone some sort of development also, because language is constantly evolving. So this evolution has led them to go further away from their parent language. The more primitive a language is, the more it is related to its parent language. The more evolutionized the language is, the more modern the language is, the more it wavers away. For example, Old English and New English. So many words that were present in Old English have ceased to exist in the New English. For example, have you ever did you ever know that handa was the word that was used in Old English for the term hand? Hand was not hand, it was handa. Okay, similarly, you used thou for you, shalt for shall. Okay, if you look at some very archaic words that have been used in Shakespearean dramas and the time of the Victorian era, when there were the literature from the Victorian age, if you pick it up and if you read it, then you will find so many different grammatical patterns, so many different lexical patterns that used to exist at that time, but now they cease to exist. Understood? So the language has molded according to its people, according to its society, according to the speakers that use the language. This is why evolution leads to straying of language away from the proto language, and that is why this results in creation of false friends. So etymology might be there, it might still be there, but the meanings have changed. Okay, so the sounds are same, but the meanings have changed. Now, one reason for the difference of meaning may also be because of usage. Maybe that the word that you're using, let's say X that you're using in the context of language A, is having a different way of being used, and the word Y that is used in the language B has a different usage. Okay, so not just because of evolution, but also because of the difference of use, words start meaning differently. Okay, understood? Now let us further explore something more about the false friends. Let us take one or two examples. For example, German and English. Okay, now German and English, these two languages, they have come from Proto-German. Proto-Germanic. Okay, Proto-Germanic was the name of their parent language, okay, which is a branch of Indo-European language family. Okay, so Indo-European has stemmed out into Proto-Germanic, and Proto-Germanic contains German and English both. Now